Hello YouTubes! Welcome back to James Recommends. This week, since it's our last mod week, I'm going to take a step back and talk about a mod for Elder Scrolls Oblivion called Nehrim. So, I'm going to start this off by saying something that's probably going to earn me a lot of flames. But, while I enjoyed Elder Scrolls Oblivion, I actually didn't think it was that good. I love exploring that sort of world. There was not a lot out there that was just free-form, open-world fantasy RPG fare at the time. But truth be told, systemically, mechanically, narratively, I actually felt like Oblivion left something to be desired, and Nehrim fixes all of that. First off, I think many of us have, since that day, seen some of the flaws with having enemies level in parallel with you as they did in the vanilla version of Elder Scrolls Oblivion. This is fixed in Nehrim. They've got set enemies in set locations, so that way the world feels more holistic, feels more like a realistic place. There are places where you can go and find things that are far too frightening and difficult for you to take, and other places where an experienced adventurer like yourself should have no problem. Right? And I really think that lends a feeling of realism to the world. Second, they chose to rationalize the leveling system and brought it back to something much more akin to a traditional RPG leveling system with experience points and all that sort of thing. And finally, the skill system as well, while you still earn skill points for using skills, you also earn a lot of your skill points through their leveling up system, which means that there's a lot less just random skill grinding that you may decide you have to do. But really what got me about this mod is the fact that the narrative is so much better. While I enjoyed Oblivion, I went through this whole world and never really felt compelled by its story. And that's something that Nehrim brings to a much, much greater degree. I won't spoil it for you because it's also not exactly standard fantasy fare. I think there's things that are worth you exploring if you've been looking for an open world fantasy RPG, if you have a desire to go back to something like Oblivion, but as a whole new game. That's what Nehrim is for you. Now, on the downside, first off, as I said, or maybe I haven't said, it's all in German. This is one of the reasons that I feel like it really flew under the radar. This mod should have gotten a lot more attention than it did, but all the voice acting is in German. All the subtitles are in English, so you can completely enjoy it. And personally, I actually really liked it because they hired professional voice actors, professional German voice actors to do all the voicing. So the voicing is actually really good, and much in the way that perhaps you may watch anime in Japanese and read the English subtitles, I felt like that was substantially stronger. I liked this fantasy world where they were speaking German much better than I think I would have enjoyed the world if they had substituted poorer English voice actors. So that's one of the issues with it. Second is obviously the fact that you'll be heading back to Oblivion level tech. It certainly looks dated at this point, but if that's something you can overcome, this is a romp worth the taking. Finally, if you're a die-hard Elder Scrolls person, this isn't in the Elder Scrolls universe. This is their own place. This is something totally different. And so it lacks some of that mythos that you may have come to be in love with at this point. Oh, and one other thing I gotta say before I recommend this is that one of the things I also really liked about this is that it's clearly a labor of love. Every aspect of this world is handcrafted, and so you'll see a lot less of the clearly generated forests, right? The clearly sort of patchwork terrain that you saw in Oblivion, less of the just open landscape. All of this is carefully handcrafted. There was no automatic generation, none of this just spilling stuff out, and it clearly shows. So if you're looking for an open world fantasy RPG, if you're willing to go back to the days of Oblivion and Oblivion level tech, this Nehrim is an experience that you gotta take, because its storyline is substantially more powerful. There are actually moving moments in this game. And so this week, James recommends Nehrim. And to give you all a heads up, for all of you Skyrim fans out there, I believe the same group is doing a game called Enderal, a mod for Skyrim that's going to be a total conversion for it, and brings a lot of the same powerful theming and narrative that this group seems to bring to the Skyrim world and technology, or specifically the Skyrim technology, not the Skyrim world, because, as I said, these games are in their own world. But if what you've been looking for is an Elder Scrolls experience, but with a more powerful narrative, and you've already blazed through everything there is for Skyrim, and want to take a trip way back to the Oblivion days, I, this week, recommend Nehrim, a mod for Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I will see you all next week.